A quick update for everyone, because right now the stakes just got higher, and those who doubted this rebuild are hiding in embarrassment. Matt Armstrong just confirmed that one broken piece is holding up the entire Bugatti rebuild, and if this fails, the whole project stops. This tiny broken bracket is the reason the entire car is in pieces, and getting one from Bugatti could cost more than some houses. So now we're trying to engineer our own solution. But this gearbox-to-engine bracket exposes another engineering question that needs to be talked about. Everyone knows the damage to the car happened at the front end. So the question is, why would inspectors check a rear component after a front crash, unless they already knew it fails? Imagine a metal gearbox bracket breaking from a light front-end accident. That leads to a quiet implication. Maybe some parts aren't as exotic or indestructible as people expect. If you enjoy deep dive rebuild breakdowns like this, drop a like and subscribe, because this story is getting more intense by the day. While figuring out how to fix the bracket that split this car in half, a bigger question started forming. This isn't cosmetic damage, this isn't scratched carbon or a bent panel. This bracket is structural. It physically connects the gearbox to the engine assembly, and when it cracked, the entire rear section had to be separated from the car. That's why the Bugatti is literally in two pieces. Now the entire rebuild depends on one decision. Do they weld it, or do they completely remake it? And here's the uncomfortable thought. If a bracket like this can fracture in what started as a front-end impact, is this a hidden weak point nobody talks about? Hypercars are sold as over-engineered machines built with aerospace-level materials and extreme tolerances. But this failure suggests something different, something that raises questions. But something else about this situation doesn't sit right. The damage was at the front, but somehow a tension ended up on a part at the back. Think about that. Front impact, front damage, front energy absorption. So why was the gearbox bracket inspected so closely? Unless inspectors already knew that under certain stress loads, this component can fail. Was this routine, or was it previously flagged as vulnerable? Because inspections usually follow visible damage paths. They don't randomly target rear structural components without reason, which raises doubt. Is this failure rare, or is it expected under certain crash conditions? And now everything depends on what happens next. Right now, this entire rebuild is hanging on one single component. If the bracket can't be repaired safely, progress stops. Simple as that. Welding it carries risk. Structural aluminum can weaken if not treated perfectly. One tiny miscalculation in heat or alignment, and it compromises strength. The alternative is to 3D scan it, reverse engineer it, and CNC machine a completely new version. But that takes time, money, and precision. And while that decision hangs in the air, the entire rebuild is paused. Because you can't reassemble a hypercar without a structurally sound mounting point between the engine and gearbox. And that leads to the reality most people don't see. People thought splitting the car in half was the impossible part. It wasn't. Taking it apart is controlled destruction. Putting it back together is controlled perfection. Electronics must align. Mounting tolerances must match factory specs. Subframes must sit perfectly square. 1 millimeter off, and you introduce vibration, stress, and long-term failure. And if they assemble it wrong, they'll have to take it apart again. But as they dig deeper into fixing this, they're discovering more. This tiny broken bracket could cost more than most houses. That's not exaggeration. Official hypercar parts pricing can be astronomical, especially when controlled exclusively by the manufacturer. A small cast component suddenly becomes a six-figure problem. And that's the brutal contrast. Physically small, financially massive. So engineering a solution stops being bold and starts being necessary. Because sourcing original might not just be expensive, it might not even be possible without long delays. So instead of replacing it, they're doing something bold. They're not just repairing the failed part, they're redesigning it. This is where the rebuild shifts from repair to engineering project. 3D scanning the damaged bracket, creating a CAD model, analyzing stress points, then CNC machining a stronger version, not patched, not glued, not improvised, redesigned. And here's the twist. Sometimes, when independent builders remake parts, they over-engineer them. Thicker where stress concentrates, reinforced where fractures started, turning a failure into an improvement. But this isn't the only risky move happening. There are only a handful of these cars in the world, and they're modifying it while it's in pieces. This isn't just a rebuild, it's becoming a one-of-one. Exhaust redesign, custom routing, performance tweaks while access is easier. But here's the gamble. When you modify a rare hypercar mid-rebuild, you're stepping outside factory validation. No manufacturer testing, no long-term stress data, just engineering confidence. And all of this is happening while the rebuild pressure keeps building. This car has been taken apart, moved, and handled multiple times. Every disassembly introduces risk. Connectors wear, threads fatigue, carbon edges chip, seals degrade. And when something has been stripped to its core, there's always that fear. Will it ever feel factory again? Because rebuilding isn't just about function, it's about precision. And that leads to the bigger realization. As they strip and study each damaged part, they're learning how everything was actually built. Casting techniques, material choices, mounting strategies. You start seeing patterns. Which parts are beautifully overbuilt? Which parts are surprisingly simple? Where weight savings were prioritized? Where cost efficiency might have slipped in? The rebuild is turning into an investigation, an engineering autopsy, and every removed part tells a story. Right now, everything is paused. No reassembly, no forward progress, until the bracket decision is confirmed. Weld it and hope it holds, or machine a completely new one and risk tolerances. This moment could decide the future of the entire project. Because if the new bracket fails later, the consequences won't be cosmetic, they'll be catastrophic. The engine and gearbox alignment depends on absolute precision. Any flex under load could cause vibration at high speed. Any misalignment could wear components prematurely. And on a car like this, small errors multiply quickly. This isn't a family hatchback. This is a machine built for extreme tolerances and extreme performance. One weak link can undo months of work. The pressure right now isn't just mechanical, it's reputational. If they get this right, it proves independent engineering can match factory standards. If they get it wrong, critics will say the car should have never been split in the first place. That's why this bracket matters more than people realize. It's not just a piece of metal. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. It determines how stable the drivetrain will be under full power. It affects how the car handles stress at high speed. It influences long-term reliability in ways most people will never notice. This single decision could shape the entire outcome of the rebuild. And right now, all eyes are on what they choose to do next. Because once they commit, there's no turning back. The rebuild either moves forward with confidence, or it stays stuck in uncertainty. And the longer it stays paused, the more pressure builds behind the scenes. Every decision now is magnified tenfold. Every measurement matters. Every heat treatment, every torque spec, every microscopic tolerance could be the difference between success and failure. The team knows this. The clock is ticking, and the stakes have never been higher. One broken piece stopped this rebuild. But if they manage to solve it, it could change everything about how this car comes back together. It could redefine what's possible for independent rebuilders everywhere. It could challenge assumptions about factory control over hypercars. And most importantly, it could prove that with skill, research, and precision, even the most impossible rebuilds can come back stronger than before.